Hello and welcome to episode 546 of Fergo and LeagueFreak. I'm that bloke from Rugby League Project, Andrew Ferguson. You can find me on Twitter at AndrewRLP. Join me as always is the glorious LeagueFreak. You can also find on Twitter at LeagueFreak. How are you today, mate?
Very good, Andrew. We're obviously here in our tuxedos for a very prestigious night. It is the awards to end all awards in Rugby League, the King of Rugby League Awards.
The only awards show I watch. And
Exactly.
I'll just be clear, I am watching because I got Freaky on a video thing over here, and when he says he's got his tuxedo on, he's just talking about the shoes. But I'm fine with that. They are polished and they are fine.
Andrew keeps on bringing up what a big cummerbund I've got. I don't know what he's even talking about. Well, so these awards, they take in every single game of rugby league worldwide from the start of the year to the end of the year. So everyone, every player and every club is eligible for these awards. And it's always been like that. It's not changed ever. It hasn't been switched and back and forth depending on what somebody needed to market. It is just constant and consistent. And that's a pretty good list when you look at it.
And 100%, I say this with an absolute straight face.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of thought goes into this, and they have a lot more integrity about them than a lot of the awards out there, which you can kind of get the impression that it's like, they've been riding that bloke a bit all year to try and help him be a little bit better, PR wise or whatever, and they've been trying to talk this guy up all year. There's none of that bullshit here.
Yeah, exactly. So should we kick them off?
We should.
Okay, let's leave the King of Rugby League award to the last.
As you should.
So the first award we're going to do, Rookie of the Year, and I think that there was a very clear winner here, and it was Lachlan Galvin from the West Tigers.
Yeah, man, he from game one in round one this year, he looked completely in control.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a young half come into the game at any club anywhere for a long time. Just turn up and go, yep, this is my team. We'll do things my way. It's fine. And like back himself the whole way through. And for a teenager to have his presence felt when he's not there is insane. And that actually happened a few times.
And I think the thing is too that I think it was maybe by his third game, other clubs were circling, which is always a good sign that a young player is he looks the goods. And he just looked the good. He looked like he belonged in first grade already. He had a good frame on him. He wasn't afraid of the contact. He just had a bit of a command of the game, which you normally don't see in a young half. And it was absolutely outstanding to see, to the point where, even this year, in his first year, you're kind of looking at him and sort of starting to track, when's he going to get selected for New South Wales? Because it's going to happen, and that's very, very rare. The number of halfbacks or halves or 5/8s that you could look at and say had that happen in their first year is really, really small.
Yeah, and finished out the year getting the Rugby League Players Association Player of the Rookie of the Year award, and then ended up playing for the Australian Prime Minister's 13 as well.
Yeah, against PNG. Now onto the Team of the Year. This one, I think that there was only a couple of contenders for this, really, but I had to go with the Wigan Warriors because they won every single trophy available to them this year. They won the grand final. They won the League Leaders Shield over in England. They won the Challenge Cup, and they won a trial game earlier in the year as well. And just hard to argue with them. The only other team that I thought was probably in consideration for it, if the Storm had won the grand final, they would have won it. They had a crazy good season.
Yeah.
And we talked about it through the year that if it wasn't for the shadow of Penrith lurking, and it kind of ended up being what we expected to happen. If it hadn't been for that shadow of Penrith lurking, we would have been saying how this is one of the best seasons we've seen in the last 25 years. So they would have gone close. The Australian Kangaroos at test level, absolutely outstanding. The games they played, they didn't lose a game and won the Pacific Championship. But I think Wiggins are a worthy winner of this one.
Yeah, no, it's hard to argue with that. They dominated all year too.
Yeah.
Over in England. No one was touching them.
No. Now, the representative player of the year, it's a former winner of the King of Rugby League award.
Oh, I thought it was going to be Herbie Farnworth.
No, it wasn't Herbie Farnworth. It was Jason Taumalolo, because he basically stepped out in the field for Tonga and was an absolute beast in every single game. He powered them through to the Pacific Cup final. They almost beat Australia, and Australia had to play their guts out to beat them. But he was just so outstanding and stood head and shoulders above everyone. It was absolutely incredible. Absolute
beast mode, that bloke. Whenever he plays for Tonga now too, it's kind of like, whenever Dale Shearer put on a maroon jumper.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it?
You just look at him and you go, hang on, I thought Dale Shearer was 97. How is he still this fucking fast and this damn good?
I still keep expecting him to get a call up when someone gets injured late, hey?
Oh, they could. They could call him up, he'd still get the job done, man. He's one of those players who you love to hate.
Yeah. Just because he always got the job done.
Yeah, every time.
You know who is a bit like that is Dane Gagai.
Yep, classic example.
Always gets the job done no matter what jersey he's wearing. Just amazing player.
There was one player my mum hated watching because she always goes for the Maroons in Origin. And she always hated whenever David Barnhill was playing for New South Wales.
Yeah.
That's a random one, but he was just another one of those players that he always put in bloody good performances at rep level.
I didn't like David Barnhill when he played for the Dragons, and I've got no reason why. Just one of those players. And I would love to meet him, love to interview him. I've got nothing against him personally, but when I was young and I would watch him play for the Dragons, I didn't like him at all. That's
probably why, though. He was so good, you always just knew he was going to just beat your team somehow.
Probably. Now, the biggest story of the year, there was a couple, and it's funny, you said the one that I was thinking of too, and I was thinking of doing the $600 million commitment that the Australian government gave to the PNG expansion team, because that was huge.
Massive, unheard of.
Yeah, crazy. And since then they got another, I think it's a $500 million commitment from their West Australia government for a Perth team, which is crazy.
We're just taking cash from governments at the moment.
Yeah. It's not like we've got a cost of living crisis or anything.
No, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
We can all live in the stadium under a chair somewhere.
Yeah, with our air conditioners switching off and on every 3.5 hours. The biggest story, and me and Andrew, we agreed with all of these, but this is one where you kind of have to go, it's hard to go past that. And it was Penrith winning 4 premierships in a row, which is like when you're watching something that hasn't occurred since, what was it, the 20s with South Sydney?
Oh, and the Dragons.
Well, and the Dragons, yeah. But but it's kind of got to be the biggest story. When we were wondering if a team would ever go back to back again, and then a few years later, a team's winning their 4th straight premiership. It's just crazy. It's so crazy. It doesn't seem real.
And to the point where you also can't rule them out for getting to 5 in a row.
I am weirdly confident about them getting 5 now, hey? After the 3, I said I'd beaten the final boss. Anything else is just a bonus. Melbourne was so outstanding, and they were the team that I was like, if anyone can beat this Penrith team, it's Melbourne. And they get there, and Penrith beat them again. And I know Penrith are going to lose a couple of players, but they've got that junior system that is churning out great players. they made a couple of really good additions that I think halfway through next year, there are going to be people going like, it's unfair that Penrith was able to sign these guys. And we're watching a very special thing happen in the game, and I'm actually super confident they'll win next year. Because who's going to beat them?
Tigers.
The West Tigers?
Yeah, Tigers beat Penrith nearly every year, don't they?
Well, only when we play. If they move the grand final to Bathurst, they'll be freaking out.
That is true. No, it is a good question. Who's going to beat them? Maybe Penrith have to go over to Super League and try their hand over there against the best in the world.
Stop, please. Anyway, let's go on to the biggest award, the King of Rugby League award.
You know what I like about these awards?
Yeah.
There's no fucking around.
Yeah, it doesn't take 7 hours.
No.
You don't have to hear small talk.
No.
When a Kiwi wins, we don't have to sit through a 5-minute haka. It's good. It's straight to the point. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 King of Rugby League is Isaiah Yeo.
There we go.
He's the premiership winning captain of Panthers. He was the vice captain of the New South Wales team that won the State of Origin series, and he was the captain of the Australian team that won the Pacific Championships. Had a season that reminded me a little bit of Darren Lockyer's in 2006, where Lockyer had a clean sweep as well, like Yeo has, of every single series he played in. And on top of that, he was outstanding for Penrith all year. In the grand final, I thought he probably could have won the Clive Churchill medal very easily. He was just incredible. And, best season of his career, was just outstanding. I think he even won Penrith Player of the Year award from memory. So just I think it's well deserved.
Yes, it was the Dally M Lock of the Year as well this year.
Yeah. I think he might have been Dally M Captain of the Year too.
Not sure.
Yeah, I'm almost certain.
No, I think that might have went to Harry Grant or someone.
Oh, did it?
I think so.
That's a bit of a strange one. I would have given it. Anyway, I would have given it
No, it went to Stephen Crichton. There you go. I just looked it up.
Oh, that's a good pick. That's a good pick. He was outstanding. Yeo, just incredible. And to see a dude that's basically a lock playing in the middle of the field, and he's at the end of the game, he's one of the most dangerous players on the field. He's got that footwork, which is incredible. He looks like an accountant, and he is just unstoppable, when it matters. It's really incredible to see, and we're just so lucky to have him at Penrith.
Yeah, man, he's something else.
Yeah.
Unbelievable player. I was just looking at his stats here, mate. He's going to play his 250th game for the Panthers in round 5 next year.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the Penrith players are now moving into obviously it's a bit different for him. He's moving into the last sort of part of his career.
Well, he turned 30 last month.
Yeah.
So, mate, he's almost at his Matthew Johns peak.
He's Matthew Johns peak, yeah. He looks like one of those guys that could have a pretty long, if he's still playing at 35, I would not be shocked at all. He hasn't lost a beat.
I think all he needs to do to play until he's 40 years old, he just needs to get in touch with Nigel Plum's strapper. He'll be fine. He'll be sweet.
Nigel Plum's strapper,
that bloke was getting 50% of Plummy's wages, I reckon.
Yeah.
I think he'll be playing for quite a while. He's just got a very no nonsense, safe style of the way he uses his body, where he maximizes everything he does. But you never find him getting in a position where he's injured or anything like that. You look at this. Since he made his debut in 2014, he only played 10 games in his debut season. He's only had one season since then when he played less than 20 games, and that was 2019 where he played 18 games.
Yeah, I think that was maybe a year where he had a couple of head knocks. He was dealing with concussion issues. And there was a few worries that it was going to be, the thing that kind of knocked him out of the game. But since then, touch wood, he's kind of been fine since then.
Yeah, it's just astonishing that he's been playing rep football, Origin and Test, and still been playing, in 2020, he played 22 games. Then after that, 25, 23, 24, 25, just for Penrith.
Yeah.
He's played 14 Origins in that time as well. And he's played 11 Tests for Australia. He's barely missed a game anywhere.
Yeah, the crazy thing for me is that, and this shows how terrible New South Wales coaching and management's been over the last number of years, is that you go into a series and, there's even a question mark as to who should be the captain and starting lock. It's insane, completely insane.
I mean, what was insane this year was that he was put on the fucking bench.
Yeah. So
why?
Stupid. And having people.
Imagine if a coach came along and says, back in the 50s, Clive, we know you're the best player in the world. You don't mind being on the bench, do you?
Yeah. You know what, Johnny Raper? We're going to bring you off the bench.
Yeah.
So he's he's on top of the rugby league playing world right now, and it's now 4 years in a row a Panthers player has won it, with Nathan Cleary winning the previous 3 years. Nathan obviously had a few injury issues this year, didn't get to play Origin, didn't get to play test matches, was outstanding when it mattered in the finals, and I think it's if somebody said to me Nathan Cleary is the best player in the world, I wouldn't argue with them. But for the totality of what they did over the course of the year, that's why I went with Yo.
No, I can't argue with that.
Okay, excellent. So that's the King of Rugby League Awards for this year.
That is wrapped up. Well done, Wigan.
Yeah.
Massive junior nursery there. How many juniors have they got?
Somebody said to me this week 100.
That's probably 100 more than the Roosters have got.
That's what I thought when they said it. Oh, man.
So, yeah, we can't deny that. No, that's great. That's great. Yeah. It's been a fantastic season for the Panthers yet again.
Yeah. How would you rate this year overall in rugby league? I think it was a pretty good one. It wasn't a ridiculously good one. We've had some ridiculously good years, but it was still a really solid year.
Yeah, look, it hasn't been too bad. My only concern at the moment is it seems like it's getting easier and easier for most teams to score points.
Yeah,
which I'm not a huge fan of. Mm-hmm. I want to see a nice balance between attack and defense. I don't want to see one having more prominence than the other. Mm-hmm. I don't think being able to score a lot more points is the recipe for better sport or anything like that. I think we're finding this in things like cricket.
Mm-hmm.
T20 came along. We can't say that it's done anything great for the longer forms of the game.
No, it's destroyed it, if anything.
Look at this last test series, and teams are struggling to get to 200 in an innings.
Mm.
And they're teams with generally some world-class batsmen in there. And they're all scratching to score runs because they're all doing T20 stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And T20 is, again, it's a concept that was designed to favour batsmen. Bowlers have their run-up shortened and they've got a shortened time to do things, but batsmen aren't impacted anyway. Mm-hmm. They bring the boundary and everything to make it easier to score runs. So that's another example of where, one aspect of the game is favoured over another to try and make it more entertaining. But it's had a bigger impact on the wider sport, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to run into the same thing here. If we start going too much towards being able to score lots of points and thinking that's going to make things better, it's not, because the things that draw people into watching games is, it doesn't matter if your team's running last or first. if you go into a game thinking we might even be a 35% chance of winning this game, people are going to watch. They're going to tune in. They're going to turn up. But if people go into it going, we're about a 10% chance, fuck it. We're not going to bother. And that's the problem you run when you start favouring one side over another. And that's my biggest concern. We've seen it in England for a while and starting to creep in over Australia here.
Yeah, and I like it. That's weird. Like Penrith is this weird anomaly where they're in this era of high scoring. They're like this defensive juggernaut, and I think what it does, like it really, it's like getting a rubber band and stretching it, because the worst teams look worse and the better teams look way better. Because, it's just how it is when you get a competition start scoring a lot more points.
Yeah.
And I think it's like that across most team sports. It works that way too. I would like to see them get rid of the 7 tackle sets.
They have to now.
Yeah, just have to. And I think the 6 again thing, I'm happy if they do 2 sets, maybe 2 sets of 6 agains. But after that, it's you stop and blow a normal penalty. Because there's points where teams literally have had 24 tackles in a row, and that's ridiculous.
It is.
That's absolutely ridiculous. So we need to get rid of that out of the game. Even if it went to you get 1 6 again set and then a normal penalty, something like that. Because I think what draws people into watching any sport is that they want to watch and when I say the drama, it's weird because media types would see drama as like things like bad calls and things that they could whinge about, Mm-hmm. What you want to see is players under pressure, and you want to see the ones that rise up, and you want to see the ones that crack under it, and you want to see the crazy things that happen when everyone's under the pressure to win in a close game. And I think that's what draws people in, more than, a team scoring 40 points in a game for winning 40-10,
That's right.
I think for me, that's what made it was weird with the reaction to the grand final, because I think, and I heard a lot of people say this, that if you were a football purist, you watched that game and you were like, this is such a high quality game. It's absolutely outstanding. I loved every minute of it. It was incredible. But then you would hear media types saying, I think it was a bit boring, really. And I never understood that, because you had these 2 incredible teams, the 2 best teams all year, and they were in like this incredible just battle for 80 whole minutes. And so much history was on the line, and you had all of these players that were all winners on the field. It was really incredible. And somebody had to lose and somebody had to win. And we got there. And by the end of it, I couldn't believe it. It was one of the highest quality games I've ever seen. And yet there were people that weren't happy with it because, it wasn't 30 points to 28. It was kind of incredible that people think that's what you need for a great game of footy.
Yeah. My argument is, so I look back and think, what was probably one of the best attacking teams you could think of in the past, not too far back. And the one that strikes out to me is Canberra and Manly in 1994.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's worth noting, Canberra in 94 scored 677 points and Manly scored 605. And you look on the ladder for this year. So Canberra 677 and 94. This year, the Roosters scored 738.
Mm.
Mind you, it was 2 games more.
Mm.
But as far as points per game goes, the Raiders were 30.77, Roosters were 30.75. Are we saying that those 2 sides were equal in attack?
Not even close.
This is my argument. This is the problem we've got now. I mean, the worst team in the competition in attack was the West Tigers, and they scored 463 points.
Mm.
That's insane.
Mm.
That's insane. That's just under 20 points a game for the worst attacking team in the comp.
And that comes down to this 6 again stuff where there's a difference between having an attack that is good enough to break down a good defense, which is what you want to see, versus a team gets 6 again, and of course they're going to score because the other team's dead at that point. And there's a difference between properly wearing down a defense or just being able to piggyback on the back of terrible decisions by referees that don't want to or are unable to blow a real penalty. And I think that's the problem we have right now.
It seriously is. It's crazy. It's crazy that it's just blown out this drastically. So that's one aspect I think really needs to get fixed up really fast. Otherwise, we do run the risk of it becoming a bit farcical. How easy it can be to score points.
Yeah, and a bit like it was, or it become ridiculous when it was the unlimited interchange.
Yeah,
and you just were basically lots of dummy half running, and just rotating your dummy halves really quickly. And it was everyone turned into basically second rows, and it was absolutely ridiculously boring because you were no longer breaking down a defensive side through good, smart play and good like coaching. You just weren't, excuse me, you were just wearing them down. That was all it was. Yeah. You don't want to get there again.
No, we don't. That's just running them absolutely ragged. Was that 2002?
Was it 2 or 1?
I can't remember. In 2002, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams out of 15 that scored over 600 points for the year.
It might have been that year then.
It's just insane.
It was so bad. It was just so bad. I'm so glad they changed that very, very quickly when you look back at it because it was really detrimental to the game.
Oh, it was absolutely farcical.
It's weird getting the balance of the game right because I think in terms of the interchange, it's at about a right place at the moment. I think it's really good in terms of interchanges. But, like, the more interchanges you have, the better a chance you have to have really, really big players are still involved in the game. And I think we've got that. I think we've got the balance just about right. We don't have like the gigantic, like we don't have too many like 6'7" plus players around.
No, that's right.
And that there are players like that in the lower grades. And anybody that comes through that's around that size that gets through to first grade, like they've got good cardio, which is really good to see. But if you extend that bench to, say, 12 interchanges, I think you'd see those people come back into the game.
Oh, yeah, because they'd just come out and they'd be on the field for 15 minutes and then put them away.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I mean, we've said before, too, that 2018 was pretty much the year when they had the balance right everywhere.
Yeah.
And then it just went AWOL after that.
Yeah, two refs. We had 2 refs. That was what it was.
Mm-hmm. Everything was just under control.
Yeah.
In 2018, not one team scored 600 points for the year.
Oh, there you go.
It's crazy. And we're now scoring 10 points per game more.
That's great. From 2018.
Yeah, 2018 there was 49.4 points per game. This year was 59.3.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's really insane. It's that's not good. That's not good at all.
That's something we can work on.
Yeah. So it's been pretty quiet in rugby league since our last episode. The only things that I can think that have come up is that basically there was a report that Toulouse in some financial difficulty at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
That they have to have I think it was that they had to get £250,000 to be right again.
Okay,
And-
so I mean, we can guess at what's going to happen here. So Salford needed what, £500,000? Was it?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, Salford needed £500,000, and the RFL and the clubs have kind of gone, yeah, okay, no worries, we can sling you that.
Yeah, they basically forwarded them money that they would normally have received next year from their club grant.
That's right.
Which is much smaller than the ones we get over here. But yeah, they forwarded them that so that they could not go bust.
Toulouse, famously known for not being in the north of England, they'll probably get axed. What do you reckon?
Probably. I would be shocked. The Catalan Dragons come out and basically said that for them to be all right financially, they have to basically make the grand final next year, which is never a good sign.
So that's the end of both teams in France at the end of next year.
Well, at least the French Rugby League, which has been kind of reconfigured and they're marketing it a little bit different this year. At least if both teams went back and played in the French competition, they'd be fine.
Yeah.
And I think that I think that long term, that's what's going to happen to them anyway. But yeah, the financial problems in England are basically widespread with everyone, and it comes down to if you've got an owner that decides they're done with the team, and they want to move on and do something else with their life. Well, every single team is in financial ruin unless they get someone else taken over.
I was going to say if Salford and Catalan were both to fail, even though we know they're not going to, who are the two teams that are going to come up to Super League? Should we bring London back up?
Well, I mean, London's in financially terrible situation.
Well, they're dead as well then. We'll just have to go with the next three best teams then, or two best teams in Championship. So Wakefield and Bradford are coming up. And given we've now got to get a third team in there, we've got to bring up three teams from League One into Championship. So Oldham, Keighley and Rochdale.
Yeah. It's a terrible situation. I used to write so many things about English Rugby League and what they should do to reform it. And after enough time, you just realise they don't care enough. So why should we? So I just don't care anymore.
No, that's why we can laugh about it.
Yeah. It's like, what are you going to do? You know, it's like walking to Bondi Beach, handing someone a bucket and saying, "Start fucking bailing." You know.
Yes. See if you can find a junior in the beach somewhere.
Yeah.
Now, I did find recently that the IMG ratings had a bit of a rejig.
Yes, and some of this comes down to, I said this to you in a message I sent last night, the clubs were pretty smart about it, actually. They looked at what IMG's ratings included in especially social media. And social media views and what's it called when you get a reply? What do they call it?
Engagement.
That's it. Engagement. And so what they started doing is instead of just posting things, they would post still images but post them as a video. Because even if you scroll past it, if it plays for even a second, and some of these videos are only 1 or 2 seconds long, it counts as an engagement, even if you don't care or anything like that. And it adds to their social media thing. So I think that's why IMG rejigged this.
So the rejigging is as follows. A total of 0.15 points will now be available should clubs have more than 300,000 followers across social media platforms. While over 20 million engagements provide 0.6 points, and more than 2 million website visits give 0.375 points. Well, I was just doing some numbers earlier today, and I thought I'll have a look at this and have a look at the rest of the criteria as well.
Yeah.
And I figured, if we look at, say, let's just pick it randomly, Rugby League Project, we'd get the 0.375 points there for the 2 million website visits every year. We've got that nailed.
Yep.
Then there's the community one, which is worth 2.5 points, which is assess fan base versus fan base potential, as well as assessing community and charity work. And we went, yeah, you know what? We can have the full 2.5 there.
Why?
I think that's fair.
Why?
Why? Why not?
Look, you don't.
How big's the fan base? It's as big as the number of hits we've got, which is millions.
Okay.
And the potential
also,
is endless.
You don't make people pay. So in a way, it's charity.
That's right. It's community and charity work. Yeah. So we've nailed all of that completely, 100%. So that's 2.5 points there.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one is fandom. Includes match attendance, TV viewership, social media following, and website visits. The last bit there, website visits. I went, you know what? Let's take 0.75 there because that's out of a total of 5 points.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty modest.
Mm-hmm.
And then on finance, this is worth 4.5 points. Assessed on profitability, financial stability, and a diversification of revenue streams.
How many times has Rugby League project gone bust?
0.
Oh, well, that's better than every single Super League club.
0. So I figured out of that 4.5, if we give ourselves just 1 point there, right, we get a score of 4.625. Now, it's worth noting that the North Wales, whatever they are, at the very lowest ranking team in the League One, had a score of 5.07.
And what did Rugby League project have?
4.625.
You know what? If we combined Rugby League project and LeagueFreak, the whole LeagueFreak thing, because I post to, in terms of Facebook, like then it starts getting up to, I post to about, let me think, it'd be about I think it's like 230,000 people on Facebook all up. Like we're starting to get up there. I don't know that we can get to 300,000 from there though.
We're pushing it though.
We're starting to get close. That's the thing.
Yeah. So now all we need is just a venue, a team, and some players who are willing to play for free.
Well, we don't have any players, so we're on par with London there.
This is true. So the other thing I was thinking was, imagine if the two websites combined and we thought, you know what? If we put all of our resources together on the social side of things, no one is worth that much. And we just decide, you know what? Let's just promote one specific team and jack their score up through the roof. Imagine that.
The funny thing is it would count.
It would count.
Oh, shit. That's so funny. That's a great idea.
Think of it. If you just changed leaguefreak.com to like Salford Red Devils or whatever it is .com, whatever the other one is you got. Every link just went to Salford's one.
No way. Maybe we should do that. I wonder how many. Are you on Facebook right now?
I can get on there. Hang on a second.
Okay, go on Facebook, right? Because Andrew's got like 15 screens around him. He likes to have one screen with one website, another screen with another one, another screen where it can,
I can't function with that absolute chaos going on all around me.
Yeah. Look, I get it.
All right, what am I looking for here?
Okay, go to the Salford Red Devils and look up their social media following on Facebook.
Salford Red Devils. 35,000 followers.
Oh, we could do this. We could do this.
What do they got on Twitter? Let's have a look. On Twitter, 47.8k followers. So almost 48,000 followers on Twitter.
Okay, so I post to, I think my LeagueFreak page on Facebook has something like 10,000 followers. And then can you look up NRL gossip? Because I post to that one too.
146,000.
Okay, now put in Rugby League Infinite.
This has just become the best plug for everything you've got.
I know.
26,000.
Okay. We're still going to be a bit short.
We're lapping Salford.
Well,
you got to throw Salford's number on there as well, though. That's the thing. So they're 35 plus that one's 26. So that's 61. And that's 207. And what do you got for LeagueFreak?
I think it's 10. 10 or 11. I can't remember.
That's about 220.
Okay.
1,000. Instead of 35 that they've got, they're all of a sudden up to 220.
Look, the better way to do it would be to pick one of the lower grade clubs and just shoot them right up into the championship, you know?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So and the best one to do it, you go off, you do this the FIFA way when you're going to, just completely destroy the game. You're just going to create one player that's got 99 on everything.
Yeah.
And then put them in the shittiest team in the lowest division and just make them skyrocket through everything. So, I was thinking you go after, say, North Wales or Cornwall.
Yeah. What's North Wales' team name?
North Wales Crusaders.
Okay, they're still the Crusaders. Yeah, but it's Wales. You know.
That's a problem. So we can go to the next one, and that's Cornwall.
Cornwall? What are they called again? Are they the Bears?
No, they're just Cornwall, I believe.
Just Cornwall. I like that, actually.
Yeah.
They're
not fucking around with animals on this one.
Yeah. Have they got a Facebook page?
Let's have a look. Cornwall Rugby League Football Club. They do. They've got 6,700 followers.
I wonder what it would do to them having 220,000 followers. I wonder where they'd end up.
Oh, that'd be phenomenal.
Oh, we're such diabolical pricks.
We so need to figure out how to do this.
You know what's the thing that would fuck it all, right? Rugby League Project becomes Cornwall Rugby League Football Club. It just has a really in-depth history section. And you could literally do that with a page. I know you've got like minor employees that don't do all the other work behind the scenes of Rugby League Project. You call them your underlings all the time to me. If you talk to your underlings and said, listen, we need a front page that says welcome to Cornwall Rugby League Club, and just contact Cornwall and you say, look, we will post your news. Okay. That's it. Congratulations. And just for 1 year, Cornwall just shoots right up the ratings.
They're not getting a Group B classification yet. They're second last in League One.
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine that.
This is fucking great. This is great.
Look,
if my website was getting the same traffic Rugby League Project was, I would 100% do this. I would contact them. We would work together. I'd say like I'll rebrand and everything for 1 year. You know, you've got it. Just to fucking stick it up, everyone.
So you should do that with one club anyway. But instead of just saying I'm doing this as a favour, you just give me a few dollars on the side. This is what I'm going to give you. Because, all I'm doing is I'm just going to be plugging a hole of your stuff. It's easy work for me. But it's going to give your club all of this. How much is that worth to you?
It'd be worth a lot, hey? It'd be worth a lot to them.
Especially now that it's become so much more important to have that on there.
I wonder if you just...
We've got the juices flowing now.
Okay, this is terrible. Okay, go to... what's Cornwall's website?
Let's have a look. CornwallRLFC.co.uk.
.co.uk. Okay, Cornwall RLFC. Okay, what if you type in Cornwall? You got to kind of have RLFC, and Cornwall's going to be taken. What about CornwallRL.co.uk?
CornwallRL.co. This site cannot be reached.
Okay, so if somebody bought that address, and I'm not saying the type of person who would do something like this, and they redirected it to Rugby League Project, which wouldn't actually need Rugby League Project to do anything. And then we just started spamming that fucking address on Twitter and Facebook, Instagram, MySpace, everything that we get on.
Definitely MySpace.
Yeah. And then we just let it run and then just say to Cornwall at about like August next year, say, hey, type in this. And
in cornwallrl.co.uk, $22 a year.
That's not bad. I've actually got one that I really want to buy so bad, but I'll tell you after I think we've already talked about it, but
there's a fair chance we have.
Not on the podcast.
This is just a hobby that people know about. They don't know about too much extra details, I'm sure, of what you have done.
Yeah, that like I get crazy with this shit.
Yeah. Easily encouraged.
Super easily encouraged. It's so fucked up. Oh, look, I can send you. Hang on, let me. I've started the basics of it. So hang on, let me send you the link. Don't tell our listeners.
No, what's that?
Our listeners, like, and to be fair, we've cultivated these pricks, so they will do the prick thing that you would expect.
Yeah, we're just. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I do remember you talking about that one.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking of getting maybe for Christmas for myself.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. I'm seeing that term used a lot more now too.
Yeah.
So
I'd like to actually see that being the new actual website for LeagueFreak.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can do that. That's easy. That's so easy.
But yeah, it's I don't know. Just planting the seeds out there for anyone who might be interested. It doesn't have to be our websites doing it because that's work for us. But if you've got a website or you know one that might be keen on helping out some struggling English rugby league team, just for a laugh,
email us podcast@leaguefreak.com. Okay, get in touch. Complete confidentiality, I promise.
Yep.
Okay, and we will just drop it on Rugby League in England, and you can get all of these benefits. And we won't even ask for anything. We just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Yeah. It's great.
Oh, I love this so much.
Yeah. It's fantastic, isn't it?
It's going to be a new campaign for us for the whole of next year, I reckon.
Can you just imagine when they have to change all of the rating system again? Because all of a sudden Cornwall has to be like in the championship.
Super League.
Yeah. They've got to be in the Super League playoff.
You imagine all of the fans in St. Helens whinge about having to drive down to Cornwall once a year.
Oh, the horrors. Imagine having to drive to somewhere that's got running water.
Oh, I need this so much.
Yeah. We are willing to fuck up everything we've spent 20 years creating for this.
Oh, my goodness. What a concept.
Yeah.
I love IMG and everything they stand for. I'm 100% on board with all their work. In fact, they should probably give more points for the social media stuff. Because, I mean, how else are you supposed to get attention and sponsors if you don't have an online presence anymore? So,
yeah,
they should double all of those figures.
They should.
Yep.
They should.
And lower the Group A rating to about 10.
Well, the funny thing was when it come out that how many of the stadiums that are used in English Rugby League were classed as top class stadiums, and some of them are fucking hovels.
Yeah, some of them make Leichhardt Oval look modern.
Yeah. It's
wow, it's got a toilet.
Yeah, that's the things they're coming out with. It's like we put new barbed wire up this year. You know?
We sprayed the weeds coming up through the seats this year.
We sprayed we sprayed all of the dead grass in gold green this year.
Yeah. Saved us on water.
Mm-hmm. So
oh wow.
Yeah, so anyone want to do that? Any club, any English club want to do that? And Welsh, we'll do the Welsh clubs too.
That would be funnier.
It would kind of be funny. But the problem is there's no end game for a Welsh team. We've seen it 1,000 times before. Like,
that's true.
What's a Welsh team going to do? Suck. That's it.
It would be funny, though.
It would be pretty funny. Do they have the internet in Wales?
Someone does, because they've got some sort of presence.
Yeah, but it's Rugby League Wales. It's like, that's an English person doing that. It's like it's like the Welsh Rugby League team. How many of them dudes are from actually Wales?
That's true. I'll tell you what.
Tyson Brazil.
The North Wales team probably need to work on getting a shorter URL.
What is it?
www.northwalescrusaders.rl.fc.co.uk. That's just a lot of typing, guys.
Yeah, they need to calm down.
I know you like having place names with lots of letters, but you don't need to do it with your URLs for your websites as well.
Oh, shit. That's fine.
I know that they're on their homepage. It says, we have moved sites to nwcrusaders.co.uk. See, that they're already listening.
That's good. They're
Smart. Already listening.
Sad that somebody had to point that out to them to make that decision, but still, we're getting there.
Yeah.
Not every, why do we make mistakes?
When you go to that website, it's got a link on there. So you go to nwcrusaders.co.uk, and on that page it says, visit main website. So you click on that link, and you can see in the bottom corner it says that link goes to nwcrusadersrl.com, which is another website. And when you click on it, it takes forever to load.
Really?
It's still loading. So now I'm wondering, why have they got 3 websites and only one has content? So
I wonder if
you go to North Wales Crusaders RLFC.co.uk, and it tells you to go to nwcrusaders.co.uk, which then tells you to go to nwcrusadersrl.com.
That's interesting.
Are they trying to get hits on all 3 websites and put them all together? Because I can tell you now, that's not going to work.
Yeah, I don't think it works that way, hey? Although it's still less confusing than what the International Rugby League does.
Yeah, no one knows what their web address is anymore.
Or it's a .sport or some bullshit.
Intral.sport.
I own
internationalrl.com
and I don't use it. They should just buy that from me. They won't, but man.
Last I heard, that had a going price of £1 million. Is that true?
£1 million? No, I wouldn't do that. Because it was for the good of the game. They could have it for £750,000.
Pounds.
Yeah. Oh yeah, pounds.
And €750,000.
Actually, I only deal in greenbacks.
Well, that's fair.
Greenbacks and Bitcoin. I don't have any Bitcoin anymore. You can probably tell by the way it's soared.
Actually, you could just comfortably take 750,000 Bitcoins.
Did you hear about the Hock Tur coin?
I did, yes. So
man, that was interesting.
So I'll say this, okay? I support a few different random people on Patreon.
Yes.
And one of them is a guy called CoffeeZilla.
Oh, you support him? Okay.
Yeah. So he's basically a self-employed journalist who investigates a lot of finance scams, and most of them are crypto ones.
Yeah.
So he put up a video about a week ago which said he was starting to look into the Hock Tour coin because the meme coin, because he was saying immediately it looks suspicious.
And
he went into a conversation with them, and yeah.
Before we go on, let's not get sued.
No, well, I mean, they'll probably run out of money. But I'm just saying, these are his words, not ours. We are not.
They haven't run out of money. They're very fucking well off right now.
Let's be clear. We are not financial advisors.
No, yeah.
This is just commentary, and this is just commenting on what he said. I'm not making anything of that because I don't know what the fuck this is all about. I just find it interesting listening to it and watching what he does.
Yes.
But yeah, he was looking into it and he's just going, yeah, this is all very, very sus and dodgy. And I thought, man, I'll just wait for the next video. And then I'm seeing today that there's lots of people calling out saying, yeah, there's a few people out there losing a bit of money. You're like, well. Coffee's little bloke's usually pretty much on the ball with a lot of this stuff. So it's always interesting when he finds a new target.
Did you see when he went into the Twitter Spaces with all of
Yes.
the people, and he is talking to them about it, and then the girl goes, "Well, I'm going to bed." She's been in bed for 3 days. Hey.
I bet she's probably bought a few new beds too. Why not?
It's just crazy how that all it goes from a meme. What was it? It's only about 5-6 months ago. It goes from that meme, which was kind of funny when you saw it, to now. And it's like, oh man, shit can go sideways really quickly if you haven't got control of it.
Yeah. And that's the thing, those meme coin things, if you don't do them properly and they are set up to, rip people off. I'm not saying this one is.
No. Of course not.
But if they're set up to do that, the reputation you've done for your 5 minutes of fame, which you probably could have milked for the rest of your life, it's all gone, and it's all gone to the negative. So you want to make sure if you're going to do it, you get in, you get out fast, and you don't get caught, and then you look after your coin for the rest of your life really well. But most of them don't do that.
I still like the idea that we had of making a coin, but instead of it being digital, it's physical. And we just 3D printed them off.
We never got around to that.
No, we didn't. I should try and make a 3D coin and send them out to people in mail. Hey, that'd be funny. Not for a price. Just they're worth the resin. They're worth their weight in resin.
You could write on the back, worth 15 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Try and pass it off. So many people get away with it.
Yeah. So funny.
Oh, well, coins. So the only other thing I know of that's happened during the week, the last race of the Formula One season happened.
I didn't watch it because the season's too long, and it's just
I didn't watch it because it was on at midnight or something like that, and I fell asleep after work. Yeah. But it was a pretty action-packed race.
For me, the season finished in Brazil.
It did.
Yeah.
The last race got all exciting when someone ran over a mirror, because that's what happens in Formula One.
Yeah.
This race was crazy because people were just crashing all the time. Sergio Perez just gave up. He just quit. He tapped out in this one.
Yeah.
Verstappen had a crash with Piastri. They both come off and they went to the back and then they come to the front. And anyway, McLaren won the Constructors' Championship at the end of the day on the last race of the year. First time since 1998, apparently.
Yeah, it's kind of shocking that it's been that long for them. But, it's a good effort by them, because there was a point there where they looked like they could have gone the same route as Williams went. And they managed to drag it all back together. So, I know it's not the Drivers' Championship, which is the real main prize, but still for them to get the Constructors is awesome for them. And, Norris is very good driver. There was a pass that Piastri did in this race. I can't remember who it was on, but he has the ability to pull off those balls to the wall passes.
Yeah.
It's fucking incredible, some of the passing that he can do.
I've said it before, I'll say it again, man. There's so much Raikkonen about him.
Yeah, it made me think about the sort of drivers that could make those passes, and there's not a huge amount of them. Anytime Verstappen gets into that sort of situation, he generally hits the other driver.
I think Verstappen's now he's got himself a little bit of reputation, more from the start of his career than now, but it's still there, where when he gets in those situations, other drivers just go, fuck, he's going to hit me.
Yeah.
And so they either yield or they give him more space to make sure he gets the job done.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of part and parcel of what goes on there. He's kind of bludgeoned them into driving the way he wants them to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Piastri is he's a special talent, and he's got to the top of the pack pretty quick.
He needs to start out qualifying Norris, because it's holding him back
a little bit. Yeah,
if he can do that, he's got everything else he needs. So it's a good car. It'll be interesting to see how it lines up next year, if it's still just as good. But it's been a pretty interesting season, and I just hope that next year we see, more consistency from the people that are going to really challenge for the drivers' title, because I think that lack of consistency is the only reason why Verstappen won it this year, is because everyone else that kind of had a chance at it, they were just too inconsistent. And like we saw Norris, the thing about Norris is when the pressure was on and everything worked out for him perfectly in Brazil, he shat the bed.
Yes.
And he shat it as bad as you can shat the bed,
He's done it a few times.
Yeah. So, and that's a really bad sign.
It doesn't augur well.
No.
We also found out during the week that George Russell is a massive sook.
Yep.
And a bit of a liar.
Yep.
So he's hoping that they get into he and Verstappen get into a bit of a title battle next year, because that'll just be violence, which will be great fun.
It'll be like having the V10s back, because as they're going down a straight side by side, you'll just hear, he's hit me. He's hitting me.
What about me?
Did you see that? He's run me off the road.
He's just a whiny fuck.
They really are, hey?
Oh, he's one of the worst of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to wait long for next year either. It's only going to be, just under 3 months away before the next season starts.
It's so crazy. I was thinking that today because I watched Hamilton when they said that he gave an emotional speech on his in-car thing, and I listened to half of it and thought, this is the most dross shit I've ever heard. Like, he sounds like a guy that just can't wait to get the fuck out of there, and maybe they gave him something to read out before the race that he memorized half of it.
I don't know. I think every time Lewis Hamilton gets emotional, it's basically every second race where he starts whinging about the tyres.
Yeah. Seriously, guys, my tyres are going off. Fastest lap. Yeah. But I was thinking, like, how quick did he get to Maranello? And I would not be shocked if he is there right now.
I mean, they even showed him pre-races. He was arriving. He was wearing a suit that was just all red.
Oh, was he?
Yes. His brain's already there.
He gave up like about halfway through the year. He just stopped fucking caring. You could just tell.
Yeah. And that's because he cottoned on pretty quick too, that they stopped putting in on that car for him. They were just looking after George's car. And you understand why, but
yeah, he
soon figured that out and went, oh yeah, that's right. I'm not the number one driver anymore.
Yeah, and it's like, fuck this shit. But it's gonna be good fun seeing him at Ferrari next year. And I know Red Bull have Perez under contract, but they cannot go into next year with Perez.
There's already talk that he's lost his gig, and they're going to put Liam Lawson into the second car with Verstappen, and Isaac Hadjar will come up.
Oh, it was cool to see? It was cool to see McDoohan's son racing in that race.
Yeah, Jack.
Yeah, I didn't see where he finished. I saw his qualifying wasn't great.
No.
I just hope that, I hope he gets his feet under him, because, I watched his dad basically tie a motorcycle Grand Prix career. And, I mean, his dad was beyond a legend in motorcycle racing. Man, the things he went through before he even won the first title was incredible. So to see if his son could be a good Formula One driver, man, I would be 100% behind him. It'd be so cool.
100%. There's also talk they've got a new team coming onto the grid in, I think, 2026, Cadillac.
Yeah. They got rid of Andretti out of there.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, Formula One wasn't real happy dealing with him, and once he was gone out of there, the deal was signed pretty quickly. It's going to be interesting to see how Cadillac goes.
Someone suggested, there was a rumor going around that Cadillac were going to sign Daniel Ricciardo, and I'm not a hater of Ricciardo, but he's going to be closing in on 40 by 2026, I'd imagine.
Yeah, he'd be close.
There's not many 40-year-old drivers I'd still have in Formula One. I think the only ones I could think of would be, Alonso, Hamilton,
and Hamilton.
Raikkonen. I couldn't think of anybody else who's got
Shuey. I think Shuey did it.
He probably could, or would have. But, there's not many out there who would still have the pace and still have that drive and commitment and all that sort of stuff and the reaction time and everything else.
Well, it's like that. I think
to be elite at that age.
I think we talked about it in. I'm pretty sure we talked about it. There was a few weeks ago when we chatted. We did a really good podcast we didn't record where we talked about Alonso, I think it was, and he was in a battle with, it might have been Schumacher, and it was Japan, and I think he went around him at R30, that R30 corner.
Oh, yeah.
And they asked him about it, and he said, and Alonso said, I don't have 2 kids.
That's right.
And so, yeah, life changes a bit for some of these guys. But yeah, if they got Ricciardo, it would be purely for the promotional side of it, which I guess if your first year's never going to be good, maybe you could see it that way. But I feel like they're going to be a little bit like Toyota, where they're going to come in, it's not going to be winning titles straight away. The parent company will get jack of it really quickly, and they'll sell up to someone. They'll sell up to some Russian dude or something.
Well, yeah, we're due to get Russia back. We can get Mazepin back.
Nah, what about? Nah, I'm out.
Yep. On that note, what else has been going on in the world of sport?
What else? I tell you what, because everyone knows I'm a big NBA fan. The Rockets are having a really good season. They're doing very well in the Western Conference, which is really interesting because they haven't got any superstars on their team, but they've got a very deep team. So it's interesting to see how they're going versus some of the other teams. LeBron looks like age has finally caught up with him. And so he's starting to look pretty rough. It's sad to see.
Yeah. Age has got up to him so much he can't be bothered bouncing the ball anymore.
Yeah.
he just gets it and pretends like he's playing League. I'm just going to run with this fucking thing.
There's some footage of like him basically not playing defense whatsoever, and I get it. But the problem with LeBron, this is a problem that he has. Up until this year, he's got to this point of the year and he starts getting real subtle about everybody else is the problem on the team except him, right? And Anthony Davis, for the most part. The problem is when you're this age and you're not contributing as much as you used to, and you're on a gigantic chunk of the salary cap, so the team is completely hamstrung by doing any moves at all, this is it. Like, this is what you wanted. This is your major bed. Now you got to lie in it. And so I just don't see any way out of it for the Lakers. And, there's a problem for them. Another thing that is happening in the NBA is the Pelicans. They're basically stuffed. They're going to have to blow it up and basically, everyone's on the table for them. So that'll be interesting to see where some of their players ending up. And the Minnesota Timberwolves, after having a great year last year, they made that big trade and it hasn't worked out for them all that well. And it feels like that could go sideways really quickly because Anthony Edwards is pretty mouthy for a dude that is very, very good but has never really won anything. And I could see where he just alienates everyone and becomes like another Jimmy Butler and ends up being traded.
That's all very. I stopped watching basketball years ago.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I try and keep on top of it, but I don't know. I just find that it's the quality of the players across the entire league just seems to have dropped off pretty hard everywhere. That's just my opinion. It just feels like I don't know. There's a lot of guys now that are being paid too much and don't have the skill set to back it up. And the extra money is going to be there because, all the sponsorship stuff's going to be there. So everyone's going to get paid more anyway. But
yeah,
I don't know. I just look at it and go, some of these guys, they wouldn't have been able to find a spot in the side 20 years ago.
Yeah. I think teams are a lot smarter with how they put their sides together now for the most part. And we're still seeing some of the after effects of, I can't let this guy go because he's a superstar, that sort of mentality. So someone like a Damian Lillard, who's at the Milwaukee Bucks at the moment, I don't think the Bucks would make that deal now. I think that they would rebuild with more depth in talent, because there's a lot of depth in general talent. And whereas the superstars, there's only really a few superstars that you can bank on at the moment. Like Giannis is one, Curry is still one, and outside of that, like, I mean, Embiid's not one. He's just a write-off at this stage. Jimmy Butler, I think his days are done. So, I mean, that's why you get a team like OKC. They've got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's a very good star, but he hasn't won anything yet, so you got to see how he goes there. But then you get like OKC and the Rockets that are kind of similarly built through the work that they've done. They haven't traded for big stars and stuff like that, although they did trade for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but they got him when he was a young dude and no one thought that this was what he was going to turn into. So, yeah, it's going to be, I think that we're seeing a bit of a changing of the guard and how teams have thought about putting their sides together. And so because of that, we've got some really shitty situations at some clubs, such as Milwaukee, where they've got Lillard that's going to be earning like $60 million for the next 2 more seasons. And poor old Giannis, who's a proper superstar and should be contending every year, is going to have to drag his old ass around the court. So, yeah, it's interesting, though.
Good times.
Good times. Have you watched the cricket at all?
I've watched some of the first test. I didn't get to watch much of the second test.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I tend to be a little bit analytical with cricket stuff, as I am with league. So the thing that bugs me about the cricket at the moment was, especially in that first test, you could see there's an awful lot of T20 attitude in the Australian batting lineup more than the Indian one.
Yeah. So
you see these silly things where there's this, in the back of their head, it's this thing that's constantly saying, get bat on ball, get bat on ball.
Mm-hmm.
You're going, if it's short and outside off stump, just leave the fucking thing alone until you need to score runs, right? This is what I don't get. Like that second test, that first test, Australia needed to score, nearly 520 runs to win, but they had 2 whole days to get it. So it's 260 runs a day. That's an achievable target.
Yeah.
Just be patient and just knock away the bad ones. Get your eye in, leave the ball a few times. And I'm thinking, they can do this. They set themselves little goals, and you go 260 a day. You're looking at about 90 runs a session. This is all doable. And then Khawaja gets cramped on a short ball and goes, "Oh fuck it, I'll just try and pull it anyway," and holes out. And he's like, "What was it, 3rd, 4th over the game?" I'm like, "You fucking idiot." And here we go. And then I saw footage of Steve Smith at the crease. And he used to be well known for having a very, very wide stance at the crease. And then I saw him there, setting up there, like getting ready for the ball to come in. And the line that is, the actual width of the crease line was the entire gap between his feet. I mean, okay, well, he's got no fucking balance. And he's prodding around and he's scoring runs slowly, but there's no confidence between any shot. And sure enough, he prods at one. The bat is a mile away from his pad and he gets an edge and he gets caught out. I went, well, that was always going to happen. He just watched these dumb, like lazy stuff and you go, what happened to the coaching within an Australian cricket team? There's none there. And on the flip side, man, Bumrah is an insanely good bowler and has always been largely underrated. He's got that weird action, but it's very high. But
you say weird action. When you say weird action, and I don't know this dude, is it just a weird action or is he a chucker?
No. So it looks like in the back of his mind, when he was a young fella, someone said to him, you must always have a straight arm all the way from your shoulder to your wrist the entire time. It can never, ever bend. So when he runs in, he's holding the ball in his hand and he puts his arm down low. And then he does this whole round arm thing, and his elbow is locked the entire fucking time. It looks like it anyway.
Oh, that's interesting.
So his arm is really high. He's got a short run up too. Think of Jason Gillespie at the tail end of his career. Really short run up. So he's got this really high but really straight arm action. He gets, and because it's straight and high, it means he's going to get swing, right? When you get more round arm, you lose the swing. You get more pace, but you lose the swing. So because his arm's high, he's only bowling about 130 k an hour, but he's getting some lovely swing on it. And he can also, because he knows how to use the seam as well, he can get it to move off the seam as well, off the pitch if he needs to. He's been unplayable so far.
Oh, really?
Absolutely unplayable. The Aussie batsmen just they're stumped by him. And he was fantastic in that first test. And there was another guy, Rana, who came on as the first change bowler, and he bowled this absolute gem of a ball. I can't remember who it was to. I think it was a left hand. I think it was one of the left-handed batsmen. And it just started just outside off. It swung in, and then it just nipped back just a little bit and clipped the top of the off stump. And I went, man, that was just an absolute fucking perfect ball. Oh, it was gorgeous to watch. And I was like, man, quick bowlers don't get much credit for bowling like absolutely perfect deliveries, but that was just one of them. But yeah, those Australian batsmen were like making every Indian bowler look like Wasim Akram.
Oh, really?
Phenomenal.
It's like I haven't watched a single shred of it. I don't like. I think India won the first test, and I think it's close in the second one, just from seeing people talk about it.
It's over. Australia won by plenty.
Oh, did they? Okay,
yeah.
There you go.
10 wickets, I think it was. They won by.
I just can't watch it because they're just all fucking jerks.
Yeah, that is a bit of a problem.
Yeah, it's too much for me. Like, and it's not just one or two of them. It seems like any time you're watching, there's always just another fucking jerk doing some more bullshit, yapping away, and it's like, you're a cricketer. You're not going to do anything. Shut up. And I just, where I think that we fucked up, and look, it's not just us. Everywhere fucked up with cricket. Let me be an old man for a second. So back in my day.
Okay.
Back in my day.
Oh, here we go.
There was back in my day when we had the fucking hole in the ozone layer. We just got through the killer bees, right? We just got through the remember all the killer bees that were going to attack us, and all of the acid rain and the incoming ice age? Do you remember all that?
I remember the acid rain one.
Yeah.
Yeah, was this just after we were all told that there was going to be a world war because Iraq got bombed by the Americans in the early 90s?
Yep. We were going to, and like, what else did we have? Acid rain. There was another thing. This was all before the world was going to shut down because of Y2K, of course. Many years
hydrochlorofluorocarbons.
Yep.
Whatever they were.
CFCs. We got rid of the CFCs. We're a generation of children that ate lead paint.
That is us.
So
we ate it, we lived it, we breathed it. We were it.
Let me tell you, the lead made it taste better.
It did.
Now it's all chalky and stuff. It's like not the same. You want that? The lead gave it a little bit of.
Not only that, in order for our lead-based homes to be nice and cozy, we filled the walls with asbestos.
And let me tell you, you broke some of that shit off, and you could make a really nice looking cricket pitch on the concrete with it.
Oh yeah,
brilliant stuff. Brilliant
stuff.
Made
good pillows too.
It really did. So back in those days, we had one Australian team, and it was the fucking Australian team, and they would play Test cricket and they would play one-day cricket.
Yep.
And then at some stage, some fucking idiot said, let's just split it in two. And then 2020 come along, which 2020 is like fucking rugby union sevens. It's not real. It doesn't really exist. It's the most shit form of anything in the game. It's like setting up a competition of just penalty kicks in soccer. It's fucking ridiculous, right? And then so now we've got three teams. And it's so you've got all of these fucking players that if they're terrible at one thing, right, if they give their wicket away too early, they can just be a 2020 player. So they don't have to work on anything. Whereas when you had the one
swing.
Yeah. You just it's now you can just fucking take your failure and turn it into a success somewhere and play for the fucking Mumbai Super Kings or whatever they're called. I love that there's the Kings and the Super Kings, by the way. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Someone should come in with the Ultra Kings.
I like the fact that the Super Kings somehow have not made the regular Kings redundant.
Yeah. It's fantastic. But I think if they went back to having just one team and you're either in this one elite team or you need to work on your game. And if they did that, you would get 2 teams worth of these players going back and playing Sheffield Shield, which they should fucking be playing, and it would help. Instead of having like 35 fucking players that can say, oh yeah, I play for Australia. It's ridiculous.
100% agree.
Yeah.
I don't like anything that T20 has brought to the game at all.
And they need to stop being a bunch of fucking prissy jerks. I don't want to see this dumb fuck in all of the Gillette ads, which, by the way, I'll never buy a Gillette product ever again. I swore that a few years ago because of an advert they put out. I use a hair clipper now to shave my face. I see him talking about fucking climate change. That cunt is on a plane 57 times a year. He will fly more in this summer than I ever will in my life. I don't need him to talk about climate change ever fucking again. And it's that sort of shit that pisses me off and turns me off cricket.
That's fair enough. Oh no, I'm here for that. That's fine.
I long for the days when we had players who their vices were that they ate too many baked beans and they had sex with English nurses.
I liked it when...
At least you could aspire to that.
Well, I liked it when the sledging was creative and amusing.
Yeah.
Now they just swear at one another. So
Yeah.
the classic one where I can't remember the name of the players, okay, but I'm pretty sure it was in the 80s. And one player said to the other one, how's your wife and my kids? Oh, is that the way?
Wasn't there a player that said, like, why are you so fat? And he said, every time I bang your missus, she gives me a biscuit.
Yeah, that was to Glenn McGrath, and he got cranky over it.
All right. And then there was, what was the one Steve wore? I can't remember which South African player it was too, but he dropped the World Cup. Yeah. He said, what's it like to drop the World Cup?
That was for the South African one. Yeah, the one I heard was, how's your wife and my kids? And the player replied, wife's fine, kids are retarded.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So we need to get back to that.
Yeah.
We need to get back to a time when Zimbabwe had a fucking cricket team.
Oh, mate, they were just starting to make inroads.
I watched a interesting YouTube video. I can't remember who it was that went there, but he went to Zimbabwe and checked it out. And man, like that's a country that is a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
And
not the sort of country that I'd think about saying, I don't know, I want to do a YouTube video by just going there and see what this country's like. I'll just go, yeah, you know what? I might just look it up on Wikipedia.
Yeah. It's I'm gonna tell you what, there's some amazing stuff on YouTube that I find, like documentaries of people going to strange places and, you know, places that you like I watched a dude that was just a random guy that decided he wanted to go to Everest Base Camp, right? He could never climb Everest, but he got a former Sherpa to take him to base camp and to check it out. And he was struggling to breathe just at base camp. And he was like, every step is just like you've already been running for an hour. And the guy took him there, this former Sherpa took him there, and they were looking at like the piles of garbage that were there and all the old equipment that people just discarded and stuff like that. And then I went down the rabbit hole of watching this dude, I can't remember what his last name was, but I watched him basically test drive F40 and F50 and then the Enzo and then what's it called? It's called the like FXX
Oh, yes.
version of it.
Yep. That was a 2020 version? I can't remember. I think so.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And so I started watching videos like that, and there's just so much good shit on YouTube that I just find so fascinating that you can learn so much about. It's cool. It's a cool time to be alive. If it wasn't for them putting all of that shit in the cow's feed, that's going to make us all infertile, you know?
Oh, well. I don't know. The other thing that's good about YouTube is all of those songs.
What songs?
What rhymes with?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. People need to check that out. We're not going to go into it. Just check it out.
God damn. Did you laugh? Like, I got to the point where I was laughing so hard I was in physical pain. Like, it was just the funniest shit that people come up with.
It was. The good thing is you can laugh at it because no one knows you're laughing at it.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to worry about the guilt of finding that stuff funny because no one knows.
It's fantastic.
Except now they do because we said so. But anyway.
Yeah. No, it's fine. I get what you mean. You mean.
Oh dear. Well, look, it's been let's be honest, it's been an action-packed episode.
Yeah, it has. It's been good. We've got through a lot. We've
covered more sports than we ever have before.
Yeah, I think that's our most comprehensive wrap-up of world sport we've ever had.
And we've whinged about all of them, which has been fantastic.
Oh, by the way, before we go, how about that young dude that's breaking the sprinting records, the young Australian kid? And his name looks like Gout, but his father came out today and said it's actually pronounced Gwat, I believe. Nice. So, and he's like breaking 200 and 100 meter junior records by like a long way. He looks the goods.
Nice. So he's going to be playing either rugby union or rugby league for who?
I think
he's either going to be a Wallaby or he's going to play for some team somewhere.
I think I'm pretty sure he's from Queensland. I think he was born in Ipswich, I read.
Oh, it'll be rugby league then. He's not playing union.
Yeah. So he'll be popular. He'll have friends, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, but yeah, it's like seeing how well he's doing. It's friggin' awesome. It'd be cool to have a really good proper elite Australian sprinter, or even like I saw some people saying he'll be probably more suited to 200 meters. But yeah, even Usain Bolt commented about how because he's a tall dude like Usain Bolt. Yep. So they've got there's a lot of comparisons between the two. And it was really exciting when that guy kind of hit the scene like that. That was awesome to see.
That's phenomenal. I remember we had one genuine sprinter during the 90s. Do you remember him, Darren Clark?
Yes, I do, Andrew.
Alan Jones convinced him to play rugby league for Balmain.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that ended all of his sports careers.
Whatever happened to that bloke?
Don't know. Actually, you know what? Before we head off, let's see if we can find him on Wikipedia.
I feel like didn't he play was it 4 games or something like that?
He never got to first grade.
But it was the lower grades. I thought he only played 4 games in lower grades or something.
It was something like that. Let's see. 1984 Olympic Games. He was 4th in the 400 meters and 4th in the 4x400 meter relay.
Mm-hmm.
1985 World Cup, was 3rd in the 200 meters. 1986 Commonwealth Games, he was 2nd in the 400 meters and 2nd in the 4x400 meter relay. 1988 Olympic Games, 4th in the 400 meters, 6th in the 400 relay. 1990 Commonwealth Games, he won the gold in the 400 meters. And the 1993 World Indoor Championships, he was 3rd in the 400 meters.
Yeah, so I mean, he was credentialed. He was a credentialed runner.
Yes. Says here he took a break from the track in 1991 and played 1 season for Balmain in reserve grade. He played on the wing and scored 11 tries.
Oh, there you go.
He also played in the pre-season sevens tournament. While he was playing the Tigers, he was billed as the fastest white man alive. Yeah, I mean, yeah. He returned to the track in 1992 and was selected for the Barcelona Olympic team, but was forced to withdraw due to an Achilles tendon injury. He was inducted into the Sport Australia Hall of Fame in 2000 and the Athletics Australia Hall of Fame in 2014.
Oh, that's cool that he got that recognition.
Yeah.
Because being in rugby league, like we obviously, when he's mentioned, we look at him through the eyes of what he did in rugby league, which wasn't a great deal of anything, which is fine. It's all right. But yeah, it's cool that he got recognition in his own sport for what he did in his own sport, because he did a lot.
Yes. All right. It says here, this is not great. So it says he was unfortunately involved in a car accident in 2000. He was training for a comeback, which meant that his sole focus was now coaching, because he was doing sprinting coaching then. Mm-hmm. He did survive. He was appointed as the scholarship coach at the Australian Institute of Sport after that.
All right.
So he's doing coaching in track and field.
That's good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
He's doing well. He's doing good.
Yeah. And the good thing is that we just talked about him for 5 minutes and we've managed to avoid talking about anything to do with Alan Jones. We've done really well.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, I'm proud of us. I'm proud of us, of our restraint.
I'm so glad I didn't have to go through a time when he was the coach and Hat Stand and fucking Potato were running the club. I probably would have hung myself if that was the case. So thank goodness that never happened.
Yeah. Man, that's like the nightmare trio. It's him, the Hat, and Potato.
Oh man. That's nasty.
Mm.
Anyways, we should wrap this one up on that horrible, horrible note.
Yeah. So what is it now? It's the 9th. We'll probably do an episode before Christmas. Even if there's no news, we'll do something.
We will. We'll find something to do.
Mm.
We've got a few coals in the fire. Maybe.
Yeah, we do.
Or irons on the coals in the fire.
Yeah, and we've got
there's some comment there, some sort of terminology or phrase. I can't be figuring it out.
We've still got a history episode to do one part of.
Yes.
Which we promise will come. It will definitely come out within the next year and a half.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. Lock it in.
Nail it down. Yeah, we've got to get that thing finished and out there.
Mm.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Was there anything else?
No, that's it.
No emails?
We did get an email, actually. We got a really nice email.
Let's hold off on the goodbye then and go to the email.
Okay. I actually replied to it.
So it must have been a good one because they got a reply.
Yeah, it was a really nice one.
Usually we read it out and then delete it.
Let me find them because I get so many friggin' emails during the. Here we go. It was from Glenn. It was from Glenn. Okay, and his subject was number 1, and he said, "G'day, gents. Just thought I'd let you guys know that when I got my Spotify Wrap today, and it was like the 5th of the 12th, he said, your Formula One podcast, tongue in cheek, was my number 1 podcast for the year. Apparently, I ranked in the top 0.5% of the world when it comes to listening to sport podcasts. Love the pod and hanging out for the historical pod that you guys have been talking about. Cheers, Glenn." And so I replied to Glenn, and he ended up saying, "Thanks for responding. Sorry to hear," because I said you're very busy at this time of the year. He said, "Sorry to hear Andrew's busy at this time of the year. Hopefully he doesn't overdo it. To yourself and Andrew and your respective family and friends, hope you all have a wonderful and safe Christmas and New Year." So,
thanks. Same to you too, man.
Yeah. Isn't it nice that we have such nice listeners, hey?
How did we manage that?
I have no idea.
We need to change the business structure because that wasn't what we were intending to do.
I tell you what, Andrew, here at Coventry Rugby League Club, we foster good relations with our followers.
And
that's why we're in the championship in 2026.
Is there any chance we can change our logo next year to the Coventry Rugby League Club logo?
Mate, we can do whatever the fuck we want.
I like it. We could put on there that we're unofficially sponsored by them.
Yeah, we could do that.
Well, I mean, what are they going to do? They're not paying for it.
We should just start a campaign to just make them the most followed team. We could get them more than 35,000 followers.
I think we can make this happen.
Not that we want Salford to get dumped out of Super League for Coventry, but maybe Hull KR.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, everyone is.
Yeah, we can keep Salford in there.
Yeah.
And not because of any affirmation for Salford, but more because we'll look after your investment.
Yes, well, it's my nest egg.
That's right. Oh, one day it'll hatch, mate.
It will. It will. You watch. Tell you what.
This is where the ball starts rolling. We're going to make that thing work.
Imagine this: 2025. Email from Potato. I bought the club. I bought Salford. Let's do a deal. This is ridiculous. We want the address. Let's do a deal. Man, he's going to have to pay for it.
So hang on. Now we've got another part of it. We've got to get Potato over to England.
Wasn't he over in England? Because didn't he take that picture with that?
Did he go over
Super
there?
League reject?
Wow, I didn't think he had the mental acumen to fill out the form to get a passport. That's impressive.
Yeah,
He's going places. I like this.
I heard he's friends with a lawyer.
Oh, that probably helps.
Yeah.
Is he friends with a lawyer or is he friends with a rugby league administrator?
Same thing.
Same thing. They're just cosplayers of each other.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, that's good. They should go over there as a pair. Get a hold of that club over there. Put their sponsorship name all over it. Imagine that, getting Brighton's lawyers who aren't in England but sponsoring an English rugby league team.
I think that they've got the. Let's just end the podcast.
That was a hard self-edit.
Yeah.
Oh, that was glorious. All right, we're gonna get the spud running Salford. I think that's doable.
It'd be great. At least when he went to press conferences, they wouldn't have to, because he's in England. They wouldn't have to worry about the glare off his 5 head.
We don't have to worry about bringing in lights either.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, look, that's a much better note to hang this one on. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Make sure to check us out on all of the socials. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. So get over there, give us a follow and a like and subscribe to the podcast. Someone's got to leave us a comment on the podcast. It's been ages. So
yeah, leave a 5-star rating and a comment, and just comment about
give us your favorite recipe or something.
Yeah, or like say something like about how Verstappen's overrated. Something good like that.
Yeah.
You hate 2020 cricket.
Yeah, anything not to do with rugby league.
Yeah, the New Orleans Pelicans should blow it up.
Yeah.
Something
Change their mascot to a badger.
Yeah, I like the Pelicans mascot, but anyway.
Bad luck. They suck. They can be badgers now. But yeah, do that, people. Please help us out. Make sure you get over onto the YouTube channel and like and subscribe over there and comment on stuff over there. If you don't do it your account, that's fine. Do it on someone else's one. We're all here for that. Until next time, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you all next time.